I'm done.
Even if I don't last the 2 weeks at 3,500 an hour, I'll find a reason to last the 2 weeks.
I know that happened like right after I quit.
I
I was like,
know.
damn it, I quit at the wrong time. If only I had just stayed for like another month, I would
I
have been
know.
rich.
I know. Listen, I haven't been on duty very often, but the short times I'm there, I'm telling you, I'm gonna collect whatever I can out of it for the next 2 weeks. So, but
I haven't gotten a felony yet. You think I should just be like, hey, hire me back and like work for 2 weeks and then quit again?
and then be like, never mind, this place is the same. I'm fucking
This
outie.
place, yeah.
They would. Oh man, I tell you what, you would be burning a bridge. But my goal is to not burn the bridge with the PD. I wish them the best, and I want the best for them. But right now,
You know what? Knowing my luck, I'd get hired back and then they drop the pay back down to like 750 an hour.
oh my God, with everything that just happened with legislation, I would not be surprised if that's next on the list of things to go on the chopping block. Without a doubt. But I don't know. I'm excited for the future. And to put simply, because I haven't really touched on it, because it's too early to say, but I do think that if I'm leaving home, I think there is a home out there for me with people who probably do care about me. And when people ask me what my plans were, when I left, I told everyone I said to go home.
Okay. So it is at home. Like,
To be with my husband, be with my father, my family. Uh, like I said, I don't look at it as a traumatic experience. I look at it more as a second chance at life. And I want to make the most of that. I'm not going to turn around and grab a gun and start shooting officers. I'm not that low by any means. But I won't lie to you. There's passions that I used to dabble in that I definitely would like to look back at.
what?
Street racing. What do you mean?
Street racing? You're gonna be a
Yes.
street racer?
I listen. Do you see the tattoo on my arm? The card symbols.
Uh-huh.
That's not there for any reason. That's there because that used to be my alias.
Oh my god.
I know it's ugly. It's disgusting, but I'd like to maybe touch base with something that drives me a little bit. No pun intended, but maybe a little bit of that. Focusing on my family. I'm not about to go become like a. Put simply, I don't think I'm turning around and flipping a 180 and doing cringe lord stuff. I'm good. I'm not. I'm retiring from the PD. I'm not about to become another statistic, adding into people that leave the PD and turn to immediate crime. That's not what I'm looking to do. Maybe I'll be a mechanic for a little bit. Maybe I'll go work at Milton's or.
Yeah, I did that. It was
Yeah.
great. Finley's wonderful.
Is he?
I think I still technically work there. I'm a bad employee. I haven't worked. Well, it's because I became a lawyer and then got overwhelmed. But Finley's really good. You'll have fun working there. And if you need help with the Mosley stuff, like, have you done any of your mechanic training or anything?
I haven't yet.
Well, if you need help with any of that, I'm happy to do that with you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. It's been so
It's
long
great.
since I ever did mechanic work. It's so long, but I would love to maybe at some point touch base and maybe start looking into it.
Yeah, doesn't take too long. But mechanic work is great. Could always become a lawyer.
I've thought about getting my bar license. I don't do good in court, but I think in the cells I could probably figure it out.
There's a lot of good people that are lawyers that are like very happy to help. I've learned a lot just kind of about like procedural stuff. That was kind of like the scariest thing is like I don't I don't freaking know what to do. Motion? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Motion
Um,
what?
yeah,
I don't want to move. I'm typing
but
this.
I
I don't want to move.
know.
What the hell? No motion.
But yeah, like object this. Um, but I'm still learning a lot, still kind of understanding like, how to like create arguments and all of that. But it's fun. It's work. Definitely takes time, but could be something you could like do on the side. Like you don't have to like do it full time or anything.
Maybe I'll look
Um
into like paralegal work or like maybe something along those lines.
yeah.
Maybe work with somebody and start hand in hand. But talk to
It's it
Ziggy.
is it is kind of like interesting to see things from like the other side, from like the legal side, and kind of see how the PD operates from over here.
Yeah, Cornwood was even saying that when he got suspended and he became a lawyer, he even said he's like, we have a lot of shit that we do wrong. He said
Yeah,
that
I
like
mean,
there's things I never noticed until I got suspended. And when he started telling me, I said, I would have never known that. That's impressive, actually.
the biggest thing that I have learned as a lawyer is that basically all you have to do is just be able to pick apart officers' articulation of charges. If you ask them to articulate charges, I have found that a lot of times it is very hard for them to do that. It really doesn't take a whole lot. Like one time I went to the cells and they had to get 5 different officers in order to articulate one charge. And they had to get no, I take that back. They called 5 different officers and they were still unable to articulate the charge, so they dropped it. And then they had to get an additional officer and they were finally able to articulate the other charge.
I think this boils back down to lack of confidence, lack of training, lack of experience.
Yeah, just lack of communication, I think, as well.
Oh God.
Because people get like, suspects get passed off to other officers, and then they're like, I don't know what happened. I just was told to process him.
That
Um,
happens more often than now than ever before. So I get that.
but I mean, it's something to think about. Like, do you the what I'm guessing what I'm getting at is that you have a lot of options. You know, you there's plenty that you can get into or not get into and just like enjoy your time and go spend time with people. um
It'll
but
be nice to not be referred to as, oh God, there's a cop here. Don't say anything. I look
I
forward
I
to.
know that is something that I just like when they pull back the curtain and people can kind of talk freely in front of you now, and you realize how much like people like censor what they say because you're a cop.
Oh yeah, I I've learned that in the last few days. I've learned things about people in the last few days that I've spoken to. Then I would have like stuff I would have never realized unless somebody either gave me the hint or told me.
Have you talked to Jenny?
Jenny Hall?
Yeah.
I haven't, but I really want to.
I would recommend talking to Jenny. Jenny, I spoke with her when I put in my notice, and she gave me a lot of good advice. And one thing that she said to me that I think it might be important for you to hear is if you make this decision, and you leave the PD and you basically you let people outside of the PD, civilians, criminals, whatever, trust you and tell you things, you really can't go back because it's not fair to them to break that trust. It's just something to think about because
Never thought about it that way. But yeah, no, you're right.
Um, hold on, I gotta respond. I when I first moved back here after the economic collapse, I wasn't an officer immediately. I didn't think I was going to be an officer. There was like about a week that I was here, and then I decided
Do you have anything
to
to eat by chance? If not, it's okay.
uh yes.
Oh my god, you're the best.
Um there was like about a week that I wasn't an officer, and then I decided to take slacks up on his offer and I
Thank
rejoined.
you.
But in that week, I was talking to people and I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. And you remember, Bonbon? Well, now Bobby, but he went by
Yeah.
Bonbon. Bonbon was trying to figure out weed. And we drove all over the island. Like he was trying to figure something out with it. And um it was a very fun day, and like he was telling me about how it all worked and everything. And then a couple days later, and I had told him, I was like, yeah, I'm not going back to the PD, like I'm not going to be a cop. And then within a week I became a cop, and he held it against me, and I didn't really understand why. Like I thought he would let it go, but he held it against me up until I quit. And then he called me and he asked to speak with me. And I had just had that conversation with Jenny, and the way that she had explained it to me about, don't allow people to trust you and then go back on that trust. I finally understood where Bonbon was coming from.
Yeah, no, that's a POV I never thought about. But you're right. This really is like a one-way ticket when you think about it. It's a one-way ticket if you plan on respecting the boundary. It's
Yeah.
it's a two-way ticket if you're looking to burn a bridge.
Just just keep that in your head, that I'm not telling you that you can't go back to PD. I'm just telling you you may have a lot to lose if you do.
This may be a hot take, but I think I've had more to lose in the PD being there than I'm gonna have being out of it.
You're probably right.
My label as an officer has gotten me in more, uh, has had me shot more times than I care to admit, kidnapped more times than I care to admit. I guess on that same pretense, people hear that you're kidnapping an officer and they'll let you go too, but that doesn't change the fact that
I mean, I got shot by another officer. I get it.
mhm, still insane to me. I don't know. Um, I know we've been talking for quite a while, but genuinely, thank you
Of
for this
course.
talk. This has been something I wanted to do for a while. Not 2 weeks notice, but just catch up with you, get to know your reasoning, and
Oh yeah, and when you finally do turn in that badge, I'll be able to tell you a lot more.
ooh, okay, okay. I'll keep that in mind. I got people that are already counting down the days, and they're. I think people really want to get to know me, so it'll be interesting.
Be good.
Keep the shield
I'm
up for
excited.
now, though. For now,
I'm excited for you.
yeah, I'm excited too. I'm looking forward to having actual retirement. So
It'll be good. It's scary, but you're great. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be just fine.
I appreciate that. Um, if you need anything between now and then, feel free to give me a call. Let me know what's going on. Let me know if there's anything that you need. I will
I mean,
say,
I need some FOIAs, but
you
I
may
always need
you
FOIAs.
may want to call an officer that cares right now. I'll be honest with you. That may be above my pay grade. What are they gonna do? Fire me, Kit? Jesus
I
Christ.
know. I know.
It's good to see you still riding bikes, by the way.
Oh yeah, always.
Which, speaking of which, would you happen to believe Shift 3 still doesn't have a motor lead?
Yeah. Well,
Only there were passionate people that actually like riding motorcycles that they
if
had a conversation.
only.
If only.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Well, I was never actually motor lead. They they held that in front of me for months and said, "Soon, soon, soon you'll be motor lead." I wrote the SOPs, wrote training procedures, did all this stuff, and then like a week after I quit, they appointed a motor lead. And I was like, "All right."
If they come out and propose something ranger related after I walk out that door, I may
I'll,
lose my shit.
I'll blow up the PD with you, Flop.
I was gonna say, do you know where to get thermite?
Uh Ask me in 2 weeks
Okay.
when you're not a cop anymore.
Sounds good. You and I can go from arresting a judge to blowing up the building we worked in.
Perfect. All right.
I'll
It was
talk
good
to you soon,
to
Kit.
you.
Absolutely. I'll talk to you soon, Kit. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
That was a long conversation, but that was a needed conversation. There are very few officers who, Flop considered to be on, not to say quote unquote his level, but on his playing field of understanding how the police department should operate. It was one of very few. And that conversation meant a lot to Flop. Yeah, wavelength is a good way of putting it too. Oh, man. Wow. Yeah, it's amazing how much I'm learning that Flop's decision, while it's unique and different in its own individual way, the concerns with the PD are consistent across the board. You know what I mean? Yeah, Kit was promoted because of who she was, but she felt out of place. Flop felt out of place because he got promoted for who he was, and then was treated exactly how the command structure was told it was not going to be built around. He was failed by the system that trusted him. In 2 weeks, PD might be different. I think Flop leaving is gonna be I think the PD is gonna be very different. I was trying to think of how I wanted to word that. Nah, Suarez and Flop had history, but not like personal. Was super important. No, I do think that was like a very important. I do think that was like a quintessential like piece of information that Flop needed to know. It's going to Ripple. Listen, from what I've heard so far, respectfully, because I've been popping it and saying hi to people. In shift 3, it sounds like Flop's. It sounds like Flop's 2 weeks notice was the catalyst to cause shift 3 to burn alive. Holy fuck, dude. So what I learned is that McNulty is one of the first cops Flop shoots. I never said that. Which combo has hit the hardest that also gave Flop reassurance that this was going to be the right decision? Sand, I can actually answer that question. Out of all of the conversations Flop has had, do you know which one was actually the most impactful? In terms of the PD, was Tails. Shockingly, Tails, the way that Tails explained everything to Flop was so like, whoa, wait a minute. You know what I mean? Like, it was very like, wait a minute, wait, what? Like, Tails was shockingly such an impactful conversation. In terms of who Flop considered to be like very on the same wavelength, is that a gun in the road? Where the fuck did I just see that? There's just a coffee cup? Yeah, it is. Oh my god. No, just kidding, it's trash. Tails was so accurate. I will say, there is something that I'm doing in this story that people, some of you have probably realized and recognized by now, but every conversation has been impactful to Flop. And the way that I'm treating my story with my character, and I don't like to talk about these things, I like you guys to learn about them and like really listen. But if you've noticed, every conversation Flop has, the TLDR gets longer. The story gets longer, and I know everyone's like, haha, funny. But have you noticed that every time Flop explains the story, he repeats himself? But there's an addition to every single time he explains it. The last conversation Flop had with somebody, something that they said to him, is being added to his story. And I think that the point and the message I want for Flop, and the message I want for people to, whether they know it or not, realize, is that every conversation means something to Flop. Jenny, this way you don't have to update the command every day. You could just say that his last day is July 25th. Well, Book, that's what I'm saying. The revealing of the thought process is what is so important about this. So yeah, the story is long, and some of these conversations are getting like ridiculously long. But I really wanted there to be a I really wanted there to be, it's a countdown. I get that, but what I'm saying is, if you don't want to have to edit it every day, you could just throw the 25th on there. I was just trying to make life easier for you. Yeah. Flop's kind of giving his farewell and kind of seeing who wants to like be open to talking with Flop. Let me call Bailey. Let's see if Bailey answers.
Hello there.
You're telling me we have a shift 3 judge?
Hell no. By all means, nowhere in hell.
No, I'm sorry.
That's something
I
that I
apologize.
want to be doing.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Good thing we have Murphy. Never mind. Anyway, how have you been?
Wow. We're talking about Mr. Sarcastic and Mr. Facetious here at the same time. Sounds like to me that you have your beefs. What's happening with you there?
Yeah, I just wanted to call and say hi. I saw you twat out. I haven't seen you in a while. You know what's funny? I just drove by the not old, the old courthouse.
They want an occupation.
Yeah, and I saw you tweet out, and it made me think about when you asked me a long time ago why I don't have a weapons license. And I told you I was maybe around 4 months, 3 months. And you said, Flop, why the hell don't you have a weapons license? And I said to you, I don't believe in guns. And I remember the day that...
Mr. Officer of the Law there.
You're digging. Officer of the law for a couple more weeks.
What, you quitting or what?
Yeah.
Why? I recall that was something that you were very excited to be a part of.
Yeah. I was. And to be honest, I'm still passionate about that job, but I'm not held to it like I once was.
Fair enough.
The uniform changed. I don't think I did, but I think the uniform definitely changed. And I think I've had a lot of things come up recently, more in my personal life, that I feel like take priority. I learned something about myself recently. And that's that my family has always come first. And I've had a lot of, we'll call them traumatic experiences recently, but I realized and I learned that those experiences didn't matter, and that the only thing that is a constant in my life are the people that do care for me and the people I care for. And I've come to realize that the job is very secondary nowadays. It's not very... the job comes first and everything comes after. It's very opposite for me now. I don't know.
Is this in regards to if I'm looking at the MDT 11 days ago?
What happened 11 days ago?
Well, I can see your reports here, and it says a group kidnapped you off duty. Is that what you're referring to there?
There's no fucking way, Doc. You didn't motherfucking know. Yeah. Yeah. No, that is actually a very big part as to why I've made this choice. You know what it was, Bailey, that really like honed in for me? And I mean, I don't want to, I guess, for some lack of a better term, conflict you out of anything if this were to ever go to trial, but more specifically, and if you think that it will and you think I should stop talking, you can cut me off and let me know. But it wasn't the fact that I was kidnapped that terrified me. It wasn't the fact that I saw where this was going was going to terrify me. What terrified me the most out of the incident 11 days ago, which I can't even believe I'm saying that feels like it was so much more recent, was that I had not been on duty a couple days prior, and there was some conflict between Hydra and the PD. And when they asked me about it, I didn't know what the conflict was. And I'm sitting on the top of the nudist camp on the peak, and it clicked with me that, oh my God, I'm about to die for a war that I don't even know about, for people that I have no involvement with. And it hit me that I was really about to lose it all over nothing. I mean, I like to think that I'm a pretty outgoing people pleaser. I'd like to think that when people think about me, they think of somebody that they can trust to have a conversation with. And even if I sold it and drilled it into them, that this is what's going on. Now, I get it. They had a message to send to the PD. Not saying that they were writing it, but I'm not holding a grudge on them either. The main point that got me was that even after trying to be that bridge and be that people person, it still wasn't enough. And what were they gonna do? They were gonna put a photo of me on the whiteboard. And, oh, looky here. Here lies Flop Dugong, died doing what he loved. You know who else died doing what they loved, Haley?
Oh, go ahead.
Rooker, Aziz. I'm sure the list goes on.
Yeah.
I didn't attend their funerals. No one did. Because they never had a funeral.
I was going to say, I wasn't aware that one actually took place.
Mm-hmm. And my reasons for leaving are my own. They actually have nothing to do with the PD. But the more I've talked to people, the more I've realized, Bailey, that it's not just my personal reasons. It's also the way that this unity is being treated. We're unified. But the more people say that word, we're unified.
Who is unified?
The police department, apparently.
Well, is that true or false?
I have sensed the smallest lack of unity in the last 7 months than I have felt in the last 7 years. And I think that speaks volumes.
And why do you think that?
Whereabouts are you?
Me, I'm standing on top of a crane behind the Legion Square Bank, overlooking the city.
Oh. Well, hold on just a damn second. Where are you at? Because I am next to the Legion Square Bank by a crane. Is this your fancy ass car here?
That it is. Look up. I'm actually on the crane.
Where are you at? Hold on. Ugh. Oh, look at you. Looking all Gotham and shit.
Yeah, not quite. Not bad, man. You don't have to call me that.
You look like you're having your Gotham City moment.
Boy, what would you see me? Others will say the President's Snow and Hunger Games moment.
Oh, God. I'll be up in a second. I'll talk to you in person.
All righty.
All right. Motherfucker actually having his Gotham moment. He's driving his Batmobile. His actual fucking Batmobile, by the way. Sitting on top of a burning city. Holy shit.
To marry you and another individual.
Want me to give you a second?
Yes, it is 25,000.
I'll give you a sec. Wait a minute.
Sorry about that. Prison weddings.
What was that? Sorry.
I said, sorry about that. Prison weddings. You're not aware, I'm also a temporary warden right now.
Oh. You know what? Honestly, I'd rather hear that you're the warden than hear that Bobby Charles ever had a said. a say, excuse me.
Uh-huh. Well, what's happening there?
Oh boy. Where did I stop talking? I'll try and pick up the pace from there.
Well, the incident and who's speaking about that?
Yeah. Um.
Lack of funerals.
Yeah. A lot of my reasons for leaving are because I've had a lot of personal things come up. I don't know if you know. Do you remember Richard Dark?
I'm somewhat familiar there. Not exactly the most. I mean, it was nice times, never really crossed over with each other.
That's fair. He's a dispatcher nowadays. He was the assistant chief of police many years ago for a short while after that giant restructure happened. But he's a dispatcher and he's also my father. And Richard had an incident come up. I'm sure you could see the report on that too. If you want to see it, I forget the report number, but if you look up Richard Dark in investigative reports, I'm sure you'll see it. But Richard had a double lung puncture. After being chased, he was found robbed and suspected robbed, I should say, and at the bottom of the Mirror Park Lake. EMS had to resuscitate him to some degree. During surgery, there was a complication, and one of his broken ribs nicked, I guess, a previous injury on his lung. And he bottomed for about 5 minutes on the hospital bed. And Dr. Kizu told me that he was probably gonna have permanent brain damage. And, sorry, 1 second. And that was days after my incident, right? So mine was what, 11 days ago, and Richard was probably about 8 days ago or so. Maybe 7. But he's been in the ICU since. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah, I appreciate it. My incident happened. I was gonna go down for a cause that I knew nothing about. Richard came by, and I finally, after like almost a week, I said, you know what? It's time to go back to work. It's time to do this right.
Proverbial what, right?
Get back on track with life, or so I thought. Get back on track with life. I
That
called.
means going back to the thing that you had no idea what you were ready to put your life up for.
Yeah. Well, the realization of what scared me was a concern, but then after I realized just the effect it had on me, and I'll kind of get to the point of when I realized like it all blew over. I got on duty. I called, dispatch 225, 1041. Called that I was on duty, ready to patrol. Immediately get a phone call the other day from Officer Maeve, and she said, I need you down at CMC. Walked
What
in.
is CMC?
Crusade
Medical
Medical.
Center. Never mind.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I went down and she said there was a double homicide. They're unrelated. And I said, oh my God, is there anything I can do to help? That's insane. She's like, I need
Is
you to
that
talk to the
Mr.
victims.
Archer?
Yeah, that was Archie Archer and DeMarco?
Yeah.
Something
I heard
DeMarco.
about that one today.
Yeah. So I had to talk to the victims. I had to hear their stories, hear how they cared for these people who I didn't know very, very well, but people who I respected. I respected Archie. And while this was happening, I had to walk by my father's ICU bed, and he's got a tube coming out of his mouth right now because he can't breathe on his own. That messed me up a little bit. I then, we got a call immediately while we were at the hospital of a big incident that happened up north. I started rushing up, And Slacks turned around and said, Flop, why don't you stay and get victim statements when they start coming down? So I was talking to one of the three victims. I was talking to this gentleman, and he was telling me, he's like, I'm really worried about my friends. I said, don't worry, your friends are right now getting surgery. I have an officer there waiting as well. They'll be taken care of. They'll be good to go. And the guy's telling his side of the story on who it was, what happened, blah, blah, blah. Just giving me everything, right? And I hear on radio, Slacks go, what do you mean? What do you mean there's another one? And the cadet got on radio and said, one of the victims from the other incident up north didn't make it. And that was Chastity Marie. Used to be a receptionist at MRPD. And I had to look at this man now who I didn't know how he was going to react, and I didn't want to be the one to break the news to him. And I told him, I said, you going to be around? He goes, yeah. I said, why don't you hang out by the ICU ward and talk to the doctor? Slacks gets on radio and goes, Flop, I need you to lead that case. I need you to take that. And for the first time in my professional career, Bailey, I sat in the corner, not in the cafeteria, but do you know where the cafeteria is at the hospital?
Not quite.
So if you were
For
to,
all intents and purposes.
sure. If you were to run straight out of the cafeteria and keep running straight, you would hit the doors to the ICU ward. So it's kind of a straight shot there, but there's a cubby before the entrance, and I sat there, and for the first time in my professional career, I cried. I bawled my eyes out. It was too much for me, and it was overbearing. And I had conversations with people, and I told people, I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I'm giving up. And I wiped the tears and said, let me do my due diligence, full documentation of Chastity, photos, evidence, everything. Report it went. I drove back to MRPD to go off duty. And when I entered MRPD, I got a phone call from a doctor saying, how you doing? I said, not great. Dr. Portier, very, very, very nice doctor. She goes, I'm sorry to hear. She goes, well, I have maybe little good news. She goes, they're alive, but Tessa Lamb is in the ICU, and you are one of her emergency contacts. And it just became overbearing. I mean, I practically lived in that ICU for like 2 weeks. And I think about it nowadays, now that I'm past that point. But in that time frame, I had to see the people I love and care about on hospital beds, wondering if they're even going to wake up, if they're even going to pull through, if they're even stable. I had to talk to victims of people who loved these people, who saw these people. And I had to see the passion and the drive that these people had for the ones that they cared about. And it scared me to think that maybe I won't be there for my family when they need me. And I told Lieutenant Sky, I said, I'm formally submitting my 2 weeks notice to the UPD. I quit. I'm done. And it was the first time in a long time that, to be honest, Bailey, I felt like there was a weight off my shoulders. I felt relieved. I felt like, maybe it's time to move on. And I looked at the incident with Hydra not as full fear, but as a second chance. Because out of the other 6 officers that were nabbed by them, I was the only one who didn't catch a bullet for it. And if I caught a bullet, I don't think I'd be standing here right now. So I saw it as a second chance at life. And I saw it as a second opportunity to put myself in an environment with people who love me and actually care about me. And that's my family. So that's why I'm leaving. That's why I put in my 2 weeks notice.
Well, it's first off, it's a cause. If you believe in that cause, I can't fault you for that whatsoever. Your importance of what is meaningful to you in your life versus that of a job which you clock in, you clock out for. If you have some semblance of meaning, your job becomes secondary. That's how it should be. Your occupation should never be your life. Where it can define you, it should not, by all or any means, make you who you are. Because at your core is what is you are truly. And it seems to me like it is your family. At the same time, I mean, frankly, there's a bigger issue of what happens within the city and how people are treating other people. I mean, for God's sakes, it wasn't just the other week where, and out on Twitter, every member of the DOJ was being hunted. I don't understand why. Just similar to your situation. You weren't aware of what war that you were in or why things were happening, because reality is usually someone else's fault, isn't it? But you're the most accessible one at that time. So of course someone has to take it out for you. They don't ever look outside of that. Who you are. Who you belong to. Who you go home to then. And if a job is a means to an end and it doesn't define it, then reality is you should put those priorities above your job. I'm not going to dissuade or change or try to take you out of that, and I'm sad to hear that that is what you're doing, but at the same time, I'm relieved to say that it's probably for the better in terms of a family. There's nothing wrong with that.
I appreciate that. I can say with confidence that I think it'll be nice to surround myself by people who I can call family, because I don't think I've been able to for quite some time now. And perma. Holy fuck, that was funny. Also, by the way, god damn it, hi all my friends, Missy, Chandler, Simon, Jared. Hi guys. I couldn't respond. Fuck. Oh man. Rose, thank you for the 21 months. Could we get some hearts in chat, please? Thank you, thank you. Dude, I can't believe Doc goes, sorry, Bailey goes, the incident from 11 days ago? Yeah, motherfucker. The incident from 11 days ago. This fucking guy. Oh man. Oh man, sorry. Yeah, I think oh fuck, wait a minute. There's a goddamn OOC meeting happening right now that I can't stream for PD? Oh, do I kind of think I should go to that just to piss everyone off. Do I end stream and go to that? Chandler, you guys gonna be around tonight? My throat's been hurting. Good thing you're quitting, right? I kind of want to go to that just to fucking go. Unless Doc comes back. Let's see. Is Doc coming back? I'll DM him. We're headed to bed? Okay, all good. It's Jover. Yeah. Everyone's going to bed. God damn it, man. I just messaged everyone and said I'll show up to the next one in 2 weeks. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey. I am. Yep.
You're what?
Yep. One sec. Hi. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I don't know if that's what you threw. I don't know what just happened, but
Yep, maybe.
okay. Well. Hey.
How you doing?
You know, I'm doing okay.
Yeah. Only okay?
You sound like you're under a lot of pressure.
No, not at all.
Here, follow me.
I am fine.
No,
I'm great.
I got you. Come here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Follow me. There's no reason to hold that in, okay? Come on. There's a bathroom right here. There's a sink. There's toilet paper and some wipes. We're looking to get a bidet soon. There's no reason you have to be constipated.
Sorry. I don't eat much fiber.
I'll go buy some high fiber foods.
Yeah, it's probably a good shout, actually.
Yeah. So what's going on? Why do you sound like you're about to blow a fuse? What happened?
Nothing.
What am I missing?
Nothing.
July 25th.
What happened then?
Oh, considering it hasn't come up yet, July 25th is my last day.
The PD, right?
Yeah.
Yep, really? Yeah? Yeah, that's it? For real?
Yeah. My last day. Oh. Thank you.
I can tell you so much more shit now. Well, once you quit, once you're done.
Let me milk the paycheck a little bit.
Okay, understandable.
We'll go outside. Well, I feel confined in here. So I have to ask, is that why you're jittery? What's going on?
Maybe.
Okay. I'm glad we're at least on the root cause. You scared me for a second. Yeah, I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people, and I look forward to the change. I look forward to where things are going, but I need you to keep it under control till the 25th.
Like keep it on down, like on the wraps, or
Yeah.
like
Like keep it to yourself.
okay.
You know, are you okay?
How?
Listen.
I'll do my best. By that, I mean I won't tell anyone. It's just they're gonna think I'm actually constipated like you did.
Yeah. It's in my lore to assume that everything comes back to shit, though, to be fair. But outside of that, do you have your car? You want to go for a drive?
Yeah, it's around the corner.
All right, yeah, let's go for a run. Fuck it, let's go. So, to kind of give you the phrase of context, a lot has happened, and I've had a lot of great conversations with people, ex-officers, people who I actually like look up to. Kit Archer,
Okay.
an officer named Tails,
Oh yeah.
a lot of good people, and there's a constant that I learned about all of them. The police department, I didn't change. What the fuck is this? Oh, okay. I didn't change, but the police department did.
Kind of moved on without you.
What's that?
Like moving on without you. Fuck! I didn't want to drive this anyway. Don't worry.